A Democratic governor, Bev Perdue, who, like the president, won by the slimmest of margins. 2008, against the odds, was a blue year in North Carolina. But in 2012, this past election cycle, Republicans succeeded in taking it all back. Republicans in North Carolina won back the governor's mansion, and they now not only control both the House and the Senate, they have big enough majorities in both houses to overturn any gubernatorial veto, should there ever be one, even though there probably won't be one because the governor's a Republican now, too. Republicans now have a total lock on power in North Carolina. They can govern at will. What they have decided to do with that power thus far is something that political scientists have a term for. The term is amazeballs. That whole youth vote thing that carried President Obama to victory back in 2008, Republicans have decided to put a stop to that. North Carolina Republicans introduced a bill in the state Senate this week to curb the college vote in North Carolina, to lower college turnout. The way they've decided to go about doing this is as creative as it is stomach-churning. Because the problem with trying to stop college kids from voting at the place they go to school is that you can't stop them from doing that. Officially and specifically, you cannot stop students from doing that. The Supreme Court ruled in 1979, in no uncertain terms, that college kids have the right to register and to vote where they go to school. It's very clear constitutional law. Well, to get around that very clear constitutional law, to get around the Supreme Court protecting students' voting rights, what North Carolina Republicans are trying to do now, essentially, is not to block students' voting rights directly, but rather they are going to require students' families to pay money to experience a targeted tax hike if their college student chooses to exercise his or her right to vote. Seriously. Under this Republican bill, if a college student in North Carolina registers to vote at their college address instead of at their home address, their parents will get hit with a tax hike, a brand new tax hike from the state of North Carolina. So if you are a college kid in North Carolina, there's a voter registration drive on campus, you decide to register. The consequence of that would be that your family will be punished by having to pay more in taxes. How's that for encouraging voter participation? Are Republicans supposed to hate tax hikes? Isn't that the one thing that's supposed to unite the Republican Party now? Yeah, but if this tax hike is just to make sure that college kids won't vote, well, that's a tax hike we can get behind. And this isn't just some lone wingnut senator sponsoring some go-nowhere bill. Beyond the main sponsor of the bill, there are 4 other Republican state senators who have signed on to this thing, including one from the Republican Senate leadership. And beyond just the college students, they are really going for it in North Carolina. See, Democrats in North Carolina use early voting way more than Republicans do. So now the Republicans want to cut early voting nearly in half. They want to stop early voting altogether on nights and weekends. Republicans are proposing reducing the number of early voting locations in each county to 1 location. 1 location only per county. That should slow things down nicely. Democrats in North Carolina also use same-day registration more than Republicans do, so the Republicans are proposing just getting rid of that as well. Republicans are in control right now in North Carolina, and they are really, really going for it. Earlier this year, another state made a similar try at going after college students. Republicans tried that earlier this year in the great state of Indiana. But that bill in Indiana ultimately got pulled from consideration after it went through a thorough round of public shaming. So far in North Carolina, though, maybe it just hasn't gotten enough attention, but Republicans appear thoroughly unashamed. They are charging full speed ahead on this, and they have veto-proof majorities with which to get it done. What's happening in North Carolina has not received a lot of national attention, at least yet. But do yourself a favor. Go set yourself a Google News alert for North Carolina Republicans. They have completely unchecked power right now, and their ideas about how to use that power are, as the political scientists say, rather amazeballs.